welcome to First 7 Inch Club, episode 230. First 7 Inch Club is a podcast where we dig up 7 inches from the past within the realms of hardcore punk and metal and discuss whether or not they're worth being remembered. And we also provide facts and trivia that we get from the internet and our own personal experiences. We do our own research on this show, so sometimes we get things wrong, but luckily a couple people in this band are active listeners, so if we get things wrong, I guess, whose fault is that? It's probably their fault, not ours.
Yep.
I'm Mike, and with me, Scott.
Mike, I got a little scene report from Taco Bell today. They have some new things that tell me they're probably me at the end. Grandma needs us to pull the plug. We got to maybe put the pillow over Grandma's face, because these aren't ideas anymore. So they have something in there. It's called Zab's Chicken Ranch Nacho Fries, and I got that. I was like, but why did I get that? I don't like ranch. So what did I think was going to happen? I don't really like a ranch thing, but I'm like, well, it's something new, and I'm going to eat it. So I got to try these, and I don't really even know what Zab's. I assume it's hot sauce. I've never had it before, but I didn't taste it. All I taste is ranch. So I'm a little disappointed in that. But the problem was when I went to go order it, it says your screen is dusty. Swipe to wipe. And I took it literally because there was dust on my screen. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, you're not going to let me order because there's dust on my screen? And I got really angry at Taco Bell on my phone because I thought they put some sort of sensor that wouldn't let you use their app if there was dust on your screen. And I was just having a hard time today and thinking things through. And I was like, oh no, this is it's like a bit. And so I wiped my finger on it, and it's it was an ad for their Diablo dust, the Taco Bell Diablo dust. So I was like, well, then, I'm so angry now. I'm going to get the Diablo dust. So I got those nuggets.
What, does he snort it? Oh, no.
No, it's just nuggets with extra hot dust on them. But the nuggets are so hit and miss there. I actually got an order of them a while ago that was pretty good. But this order was gnarly. They were all misshapen and small and fried too long. And there was only dust on one of them. I was like, that's what I ordered. The whole point of ordering it was to get the Diablo dust. Yeah. And only one of them had it on it.
Was it spicy at least?
No, none of it was any good. None of it was, the fries were as okay as they ever are. They had chicken and ranch on them. I don't really like that. So, but it's not disgusting. I just don't like it. And then the Diablo things were gnarly. They sucked. I wish I had ordered something good for the end. Had a taco or something, but I'm already 11,000 calories in. And it was just a snack because I had already had plans to have dinner later. So I got nothing else going on because I'm just doing store stuff. Yeah. That's where I'm at right now. If anybody has any questions for me about what a smart idea it was to open a record store, just toss them my way. If you like the antics of the First 7 Inch Club, tune in to the Party Shark Records social media, because I'm doing a much worse version over there, and my face is involved. It's horrible.
Did you make more than one video? I only saw one video.
There'll be another one this week. I don't know I don't know what the frequency is these days. Should I be doing it more frequent? I don't know.
You gotta do at least one a week.
There'll be one a week for sure. Yeah. If they get some momentum, I could do them. I could do 6 a week.
There you go.
I could make fun of records every day of my life with no problem. I just don't think it would have a desired effect, and I don't know if I have enough funny records in the store to. Yeah. I'd have to start making fun of the old Elvis that's not selling and stuff like that. But the feedback's been good so far. But I hate being on camera.
Just wear a wig and a mustache.
We are both old Dinosaur Dracula fans, and I realize why he puts the vampire makeup on. It makes things a lot lower stakes when you have put something else on. But when that camera's looking at you and you could see yourself on it, and it's just oh, this sucks. This is a bad feeling.
You should get a shark costume and do it in a shark costume.
The one thing I wish I had done was my friend Swan offered to give me some old. Well, he wanted to sell them to me. He wanted to sell me some old drums he had. Mm-hmm. And I thought I would see if I could get a Rock-afire robot and make a shark out of it that would just play In the Air Tonight once an hour. And I'd mic it and put it out the door. So every hour on the hour, doom, 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 pop, pop. That would be the whole thing. I assume the robot would have been the harder part to get, but since I didn't get the drums, I put the whole project on hold for now.
Yeah, I don't think the animatronic robots are. They're not. I don't think they're just on Facebook Marketplace every day or anything like that. But
I don't know if this was true before, but now every time a classic Chuck E. Cheese closes down, they insist on confiscating everything inside of it. Yeah. So they don't let those robots out. they get upset when they find out that someone has one in their garage that they're hacking to play like grind songs and stuff.
I think they might have already failed, but they had those adult Chuck E. Cheeses.
Yeah.
And there was a video of some YouTube guy that went to every single one of them in the country. I think there's only like 8 or 5. It's not a lot. And they're all supposed to have like at least those things on display, not like actually in motion, and some of them don't even have it. So they don't even have all of them. So it's going to be pretty hard for you to get one. You could go come to Logan Arcade over here in Chicago and steal theirs. But
is that the one with the Misfits guys?
Yeah.
Well, I think it would be great if there was a Chuck E. Cheese, adult Chuck E. Cheese in my neighborhood that couldn't get a robot, and I got one.
Yeah.
I'd FaceTime them every day, like with my arm around my robot shark, like, what's up, guys?
Okay, if you want to reach out to us, you can do so at first7inchclub@gmail.com, or go to our Instagram at first7inchclub. Maybe get an answer quicker there. We also have other means of, I guess, communication and avenues of things. Like we have a YouTube. I don't know. Does it? I think it still posts the podcast on YouTube. I actually haven't checked. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah.
I gotta maybe check up on that and make sure, but I guess you could leave a comment there too. Obviously, I don't check it, so maybe don't leave a comment there. But I guess I could see if that's still working.
That is where the most deranged people leave comments.
Yes.
So any of the wars that we want to have online are probably be taking place over there, and we're not a part of it. So
yeah, I don't even like. Actually, no, because I do get notifications when people subscribe to the channel, so I assume it would give me notifications when people leave comments, but I actually don't know. So either way, you could do that, and there's a very dated link tree in our Instagram too, so you could just follow those dead links there. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/first7inchclub. You get a couple new episodes a month. You get your name shouted out once a month. Maybe some bonuses here and there when I get productive. And that's about it. You throw us a few bucks and you get a couple things. Hopefully next Patreon episode we're going to be going over vintage Metal Maniacs. And by vintage, I mean before my time, not before Scott's time, because he's an old Metallian, but somebody who was selling very vintage old Metal Maniacs for a nice price, and I bought a lot of them. And I don't think I've ever seen a Metal Maniacs before probably 1995, so maybe 94. So, and I think these are like 91, 92, so we're going to be, I don't know, I'm very excited for this. So hopefully they come this week and we could do it next week. So look forward to that on Patreon. Subscribe now.
The views on our YouTube are very sad.
Yeah, there's like that one that Colored Rice Men, that Japanese band. I think that's in like the thousands. It's the only one that like people were like fiending for that to be on YouTube for some reason, to finally hear it or something. But so there's like a couple records in there where it's like a good amount, but I don't know. I don't think a lot of people use YouTube to listen to old hardcore 7 inches, but
no,
I didn't really do anything that exciting this week. I did one thing though. I decided that I need to go back on a diet because I'm fat, and I need to lose like, I don't know, 400 pounds, at least 400. I gotta lose at least 400 pounds, and I'm not gonna do it by exercising. So I gotta go on the wacky diet to lose all the pounds. And I was like, I made this decision last week, and I was like, I'm not gonna start in the middle of the week. I gotta start on Monday. So I was like, I'm gonna have a big last hurrah this weekend before I start. And I always wanted to try realistically, I would like to try the challenge of doing 9 hot dogs and 9 beers and 9 innings of baseball. But I didn't want to, I was at home, and if I try and do 9 beers, I'm just going to fall asleep. So I was like, can I even eat 9 hot dogs and 9 innings of baseball? So that's what I did. I tried the 9 hot dogs and 9 innings baseball challenge. Did it no problem. And it's actually not that hard to just eat 9 hot dogs in like 2 hours and change.
Yep. I
thought something bad might happen. Like, I'm not young. I'm just like, what if I have a heart attack? Like, what if this is it? What if if I have a heart attack? And then, my girlfriend wasn't home at the time. What if she comes home dead? And the ambulance shows up, and they're like, "Oh, he had a hot dog overdose." And it's just like, and then
see how many hot dogs this guy has.
And she has to tell like my family. She's like, yeah, he ate too many hot dogs and he died.
They're like, yep, that sounds about right.
But luckily I survived, and it wasn't even that like uncomfortable. I just ate them, and I was like, oh, that's actually kind of easy. So if you ever dreamed of doing this, do it. It's pretty fucking easy. I ate Vienna beef hot dogs too, so I didn't cheap out either. So you can do it with your shitty cheap hot dogs for probably a lot less money.
Immortality, take it. It's yours.
Yeah.
It's I whenever we have like a big barbecue and there's like a lot of meats out, I can just keep walking past and putting them away. It's trivial for me to eat meat. Other things, pizza and stuff adds up, especially these days. I think I have guts problems, so I just can't cram it away the way I used to. But I can like pace myself and walk past the hot dog tray every like 10 minutes or so and just whoop, put one away. And it could probably get into the 40s before I'd start to notice an impact.
I was talking to one of my internet baseball friends about it, and he was like, I think he asked me, he's like, how many hot dogs have you eaten in a non-competition setting? And he was like, I've probably at least eaten 7 like in a barbecue or something. And I was like, that's the thing, like if I'm at a barbecue, there's probably also burgers there, and that's my first priority, because you could fucking go anywhere and buy a pack of hot dogs and microwave them and have like 8 hot dogs immediately. Burgers is like a process, unless you get those like pre-made ones, which are gross. So I'm gonna always prioritize burgers at a thing. Obviously, like something like Gus's, which is for people not from upstate New York, is a very regional type of hot dog that they only sell in Troy, New York now, I guess. And I could eat at least 20 of those, like no problem. So but either way, not really a problem to eat 9 hot dogs, so everybody should try it. It sucks though, because it's the same diet that you did, and it's just like, the one thing that you can't eat endlessly on this diet is meat. And I was just like, I should have just fucking did 9 pieces of cake instead or something, but it's too late now.
I mean, I haven't been on this diet for a while, but those who knew that I was on it would always be like, oh, so your cheat day's got to be all like, lobster and like I'm going to go out to a 4-course meal. I'm like, no, I want more tacos. I want to go eat like the dumb stuff I would have eaten all week long and missed. I want to just catch up. So I want to go get tacos and like chips and stuff and beer and nothing fancy. And the days I do go out and eat something fancy, I feel cheated. Like if I have I went to those Easter buffets. We had these Italian Easter buffets we went on a while ago that had the best meat on some sort of like polenta thing it's one of the most delicious things I've ever eaten, and I could eat pounds and pounds and pounds of it. And then I come home and I'm still like, well, I eat it, but I didn't get any tacos or anything today. I didn't get any beer today, so I felt cheated. So it is kind of that way. I found that that we're talking about the slow carb diet, if anyone cares. It did work for me very well in my late 30s into my 40s, and it's not working for me now. It doesn't have the same effect the second time. I think your metabolism is like, nope, not falling for that shit again.
I think I'm fat enough where it has to work. Like it's just like just cutting out sugar is probably gonna work. So so I think I could at least shed a few pounds before I get bored of it, but I guess we'll see. But I know once I'm like in full metabolism mode, I'll be able to eat 18 hot dogs in 9 innings, so it won't even be a fucking problem. So maybe that's a sequel. Anyways, talk about our friend at stateofmindrecordings.com. Stateofmindrecordings.com is a website on the internet. It's also a distro and a record label, and they have old records and new records. Old records that'll become new records, and I believe they still have $5 flat rate domestic shipping, so get on that quick. I don't know. I mean, I guess he just doesn't care. He does not care. He wants to give you a deal, and he does not care if it comes out of his pocket. So $5 flat rate domestic shipping. Every week I like to feature a record that he has in stock that you can go buy or look for other stuff, because usually the record I pick is stupid, and this week is no different. It's 420 today. You'll hear this on 422? 422. But I was looking for a fun 420 record, but the only thing he has is Bongzilla. I already talking about Bongzilla. So searching, putting all in the key terms. I think State of Mind, Mr. State of Mind, you might need like a better search field thing. Like, I don't know. I don't know how search works on internet, but It's just like, I feel like I'm putting in some strong words and nothing's popping up. And you have 37 million records, and I feel like things should pop up, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, one of the records that did pop up when I was searching for Smoke, because he has a lot of colored vinyl, and and they're like something Smoke, something like that. So a lot of Smoke records popped up, and this is not has to do with weed at all, but it's the My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission soundtrack on Blue Smoke vinyl. My Hero Academia is an anime.
Yep.
I know nothing about it. I just think it's really funny that they're selling anime soundtrack records. It's $27.95. I feel like everything in the world of anime is overpriced, so this is probably $47.95 somewhere else. So you're probably getting a deal for $27.95, I assume. I don't know if this is one of the good animes. I've heard of it, but it looks a little too cartoony for me, so I would never check it out. But if you're into that shit, he has these records, so you can take a break from your punk rock and put on the soundtrack to My Hero Academia, award-winning anime, I guess. So check it out at stateofmindrecordings.com.
Yeah, My Hero Academia is one of those animes where I feel like people argue a little bit too sincerely about power levels in the comments. Like they get it's the same thing with Wrestler Baki.
Yeah.
All those animes have like comment section where people are like, no way would Guts be like fall down to Superman. Superman would definitely take the sword and die. And they get really fucking pressed about like which anime character can take which other anime character, and they get really lippy with each other really quick. It escalates very quickly. They get very butthurt about like which ones are stronger than the others. I do get curious about these. Every once in a while I'm like, maybe I'll just start watching One Punch Man or one of these shows that I kind of missed. And it doesn't take. I do like One Piece. One Piece is one that's a little like slightly after my time. That's great. That's actually I'm happy I watched some of that, and the live action one I kind of like too. But I'm never gonna catch up with this My Hero shit. This is a little bit too far gone for me. Maybe I'll just listen to the record.
Yeah, I watched Perfect Blue this year, so I crossed off my anime for the decade right there. That was enough for me. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm today I'm gonna go with a different area of confusion. It's the various artists Red, White, and Blue double 7-inch, and it says Old Firm Casuals.
Ooh.
And so it says pinning Greater London versus the Bay Area. This 4-way double 7-inch split truly highlights the best in today's global oi and street punk scene. So the reason that I think this is interesting is Mike and I are oi experts from way back when.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But some of the details on what you oi guys get up to eludes me, and I don't understand the sort of weird, like knuckleheaded patriot part of it. A lot of the people who are more into the street punk side of it, at least in the area that I live, the people who are like older and who got into some sort of oi thing are very confusing to me, and they're kind of MAGA. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me because they're cosplaying as people who like British stuff at the same time. So this 7-inch is perfect because it's like that's what they're saying. It's like they both have the red, white, and blue flags. So there's some confluence there or whatever. I don't get it. I don't really feel like learning. I don't feel like doing anything to learn about it. But I feel like this 7-inch might be a start for me. This red, white, and blue, because it's like the Old Firm Casuals are maybe number one on my list of confusing bands because it's the guys from Rancid just fully pretending that they're British, or maybe he is British. I have no idea, but they're it's confusing.
They used to pretend they were Jamaican, so this is not really that big of a deal after you've pretended to be Jamaican. So
that was hard mode, and now they decide, well, we're getting older, we're just gonna pretend to be a different kind of white instead.
That being very patriotic is definitely very like when Japanese people wear blackface and stuff. I don't think they do that anymore. Don't cancel me. This was a thing though in the 90s, but because like England is like 40 million years old, and so they're all proud of like, and everything there. I mean, not everything, but there's still like a lot of old shit there just chilling, and there's no old shit here anymore. It's all like a Starbucks now, so you can't have that patriotism because there's nothing here to be proud of unless you are like an ignorant redneck. So I would like to see American oi maybe find a different lane, because trying to be patriotic, it just doesn't fucking work, man. What are you so proud of? You proud of the gas station? Gas stations aren't cool. Just get over it.
Okay. He is an American. The guy Lars Fredrickson from is an American man who. So Lars, you can't pretend. You can't be at the footy game anymore. You got to pull in your footy card.
I don't think he. I don't. Was it the? I don't know. I don't know the history of Operation Ivy. I know the other guy was in it, so I don't know if Lars was. I don't think Lars was in it too. Was he?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So maybe he was jealous. He's like, well, Tim got to pretend to be a Jamaican guy, so I'm gonna pretend to be British, and now we're even. So okay, that was stateofmindrecordings.com. So now we can talk about what we're here to talk about. And it's the band Inkwell and their 7-inch by design from on My Last Wish Records from 1995. Inkwell was a band from Atlanta, Georgia, and they were around in the early to mid 90s, I guess. Yeah, like they didn't seem to be around too long. 94 to about 96 or 97, it seems. I swear to God, they're on the my favorite comp, the Sleepless Nights comp, but I don't think they were. So I don't know how I knew these guys before this podcast, but I knew them from something. I thought it was that comp, but it's something. They released a few 7-inches, a split, couple regular 7-inches, a demo, whatnot, possibly a phantom track on the Sleepless Nights comp that is not showing up in the track list. But either way, two of the guys in this band listen to the show. And one of them, well, both of them had the idea to send us the records, but only one of them came through. So, but that was Philip, the singer. He was nice enough to send me pretty much the entire Inkwell discography, which includes the 2 solo 7-inches and the 1 split with the Hal Al Shaded. And I think I don't know if those dudes listen, but I think they at least follow the Instagram too. So there might be a lot of people listening to this one. I don't know. But yeah, he came through and sent them. These are kind of like they're fairly pricey, at least when it comes to my pockets and financing this podcast. I don't like to spend too much, so. But so they're pricey. But he sent the second presses, the represses, which I don't even know if when I was looking for these records, if I knew there was a repress, because it's probably a little cheaper. But it's too late now because I got them for free, so it doesn't matter. So I got the repress of this. It's fairly different packaging wise, but we'll get into that. But the band itself is luckily fairly online. So it wasn't too hard to track them down, and 2 of them listen to the show, so it was very easy to track them down. But so first up, the aforementioned Philip Dwyer, who is the singer. He's now a graphic designer. At this time, when this record came out, he's working under the name Clone Graphic Works, but now he works under the name Apartment 13, which I always stumble and say 213 because that's the famous apartment. But Apartment 13, you might probably hear his name in the Patreon. That's one of the Patreon perks, is getting your name said in the Patreon. So that's what he does now. He sent me a bunch of Apartment 13 stickers too, as well with this, and that's what he's up to. He's a good guy who listens to this podcast enough to even be a patron, so I'm not going to dig up any dirt on him, because why would I? Because he's a great guy who has money to throw around and pay to listen to this podcast, and so he's the number one all-star as far as I'm concerned.
There's not actually that much about him other than his credits, like in doing things, because he's taken down all of his socials and his website's not live. So you can find some stuff out there about him, but it's kind of thin. I do know he's still in the design game, because they just released a For Dire Life's Sake thing that he designed. He wrote to us a month or so ago, and he specifically said he doesn't do social media anymore. So that's it. All you can find is punk and design credits. He's purely punk online. That's it.
Yep. Yeah. He even sent me an old snail mail letter with all that stuff. So he's writing letters, sending records, shit like that.
Is he writing cursive?
Yep. No one writes in cursive anymore. I can't even remember last time I got a cursive letter. It's been a while. Next up is Martin Rue. I don't know how to say Martin's last name, so I'm going to go with Rue.
Yeah.
He played bass. He was also in a band called Remodel. And he's also known as Marty Roo, according to Instagram. Discogs. He's also in a band called Broken, but I don't think it's The Broken. Was it The Broken? No, different Broken. It was the band that became Downpour, actually. But Martin also listens to this podcast. I don't think he's a patron, though, so he's not as cool as Philip.
Yep.
He's slightly less cool. He is probably one of our most vocal listeners that we didn't know beforehand, because obviously people we know beforehand are always gonna bust balls because they're like friends. But Martin did not know us before this podcast started, and he's in every single comment section of every single episode we do saying this band sucks. and I think it's pretty funny because he listens to the show. And we always say all of these bands find us. They all find us on Instagram, and they all just like, they all open the post and see Lucifer Smile. That's his Instagram name. They see Lucifer Smile saying, "This band sucks." And it's pretty amazing. I love it because he just has no fear. He just every single band. This band fucking sucks. And the next comment is somebody in the band saying, "Hey, check this out," and it's pretty funny. So now I've exposed him. If you guys were wondering who always says your band suck, it's Martin from Inkwell. It's him.
He gets into it sometimes too. I think he's gotten some scraps in the comments. So I'm going to take a little risk. I'm going to go for broke on this one. I think maybe, I don't know if it's for us or not. I think I'm going to guess maybe Martin saw us coming. They knew we were going to do this episode. I think he decided to mess with us on LinkedIn because it's a really mild troll. This is very clever. If he did, it's because it says he works at one of those like faith-based troubled youth ranches in Montana. Nothing about any of his other posting indicates that he lives anywhere near Montana, and his Instagram shows him working at a print shop, which aligns with the rest of his resume. Working at this other place doesn't align with his resume, but the print shop does. So, Martin, if that is your career and I'm putting you on blast, I'm sorry. But if you messed up your LinkedIn just for us, I'm flattered. And if not, this is just like a troll you have going on in your LinkedIn. That's psychotic. That's crazy. And like you said, he's an avid commenter, and he dislikes almost everything that I enjoy. If I enjoy a band, he definitely likes, and vice versa. He seems to like the ones I don't like. So I just can't wait to hear what he has in store for us this episode.
Next up was Marcus Lowe, who I closed it out. Is a drummer? Yep. Marcus Lowe is a drummer. And luckily, he just has his whole goddamn bio. It's fucking Discogs, so I didn't even have to do any work. He's a musician and engineer who now lives in, as far as when this bio was written, in Little Rock, Arkansas area. Previously lived in Atlanta. He was a drummer for the hardcore band Inkwell in the mid-90s. He is freelanced at various studios and currently makes music under the name Mystic Maze, which I did not check for any Mystic Maze music, but that sounds pretty 420 friendly, if you ask me. He seems to have a lot of credits. Not a lot, but he has a decent amount of credits on Instagram, and his credits for Car vs. Driver, which is a band that has popped up 17 times this week for me searching for things. So I don't know. I guess I don't know if he recorded them or what, but yeah, that's what apparently he's up to these days.
Well, you would think so from Discogs, but if you look at his Instagram, he is 100% about Islam. 15 years ago, he converted to Islam, and like he's out there. He makes music with his brothers and sisters at the Medina Institute Mosque in Arkansas, and very avid. Like it's his whole Instagram. It's his main thing. It's amazing, and I think he has a wife in Qatar or Qatar, depending on which lying news media you listen to. I think I said Qatar. I don't know, but she's like a calligraphy artist, like a Islamic calligraphy. And she has an Instagram handle that I think might be referencing Another Bad Creation, because her name is Aisha and she spells it Aisha. So I think she's referencing that. But yeah, he seems to be having a great time with his new journey. And Mystic Maze is like murky, very moody, mostly instrumental hip hop. It's like, that sounds right. like late 90s murky, and introducing not quite that level, but that kind of stuff.
Trip hop.
We'll call it trip hop.
Okay. Lastly is Joseph Myers, who played guitar, unfortunately passed away in 2023 due to cancer. His obituary actually name drops Inkwell, which is we've come across a lot of dead people on this, not a lot, but a decent amount of dead people on the show. But to be in a band, in a punk band big enough to be named in your obituary is something special. So rest in peace, Joseph Myers. It's sad to find out this way that you passed away.
I think whoever did this obituary did one of the nicer jobs that I've seen on this show, because there's a big chunk of it that's about his time as a punk, and usually those kind of obituaries are kind of sad. Yeah, because you're like, man, you should have done something else, like since you were 19, just anything else. And Joe's is exactly that. It's just like, he did this, he did that. He was in this band Inkwell. They toured, then he got into movies and stuff, and then it says that he got into movie production. He moved to LA and he worked for 5 years at Legendary Entertainment, and he did, I don't know what, post-production coordinator, but he was on Pacific Rim, Uprising, Skyscraper, Godzilla King of Monsters, and Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Ooh. So I feel like that's a very well-rounded thing to have in your obituary. It helps that the main band that he was in was known, like a known band and kind of famous, but wrapping up your whole career by making the Pikachu movie that everybody likes is super clean. That is a very clean run. So this is one of the nicer and more like adult chunks of I was a punk before obituary things I've ever seen.
And there you have it. That's Inkwell. This was on a record label called My Last Wish. I should have did more research on this. They only put out 3 things. 2 of them are the Inkwell 7 inches. The other one is Remodel, which is Martin's other band. So I assume this was Martin's record label, but I didn't bother to ask him. So I don't know. I don't have any other information on it.
There's a different address on the first printing. It's a house. And if you search for that address, you get reviews for a zine called I Am Nothing. And the reviews say, this is one of the most striking zines we've seen in a while. And that shouldn't be too surprising because the address also turns up results for Phil Dwyer's family's house. So I think this is the apartment 13. Yeah. This is the apartment 13 house. It's probably his zine. I couldn't find anything about it. It just says that it's kind of a straight edge zine, but not really, and a poetry zine, but not really, and really well laid out. So, this label put out just a couple of his records, and that's about it.
So that makes sense why he just had these chilling in his closet. He's probably has thousands of them. So I should have said that. It's Philip's record label. So there you have it. So now we can get this record out onto a tray. Nice. Mine's a little wimpy because I can't drink beer anymore. So
see, listeners, Mike has he just has, I don't know what he has. He has just like a Radio Shack microphone plugged directly into his computer. I don't even think he plugged into a port. He just stuck the plug in the center of his keyboard. And when I get his files, his are all rich and bassy and clean. There's no room noise. He sounds like Barry White. It's perfect. And then I go to bring in my file. It's like, and I have all this gear and shit here. But when I open my can, that's when the sparks fly. My can is always nice and big and roomy sounding.
Yeah, it's unfortunate with these vocal microphones. I don't have any canned microphones. I only have a vocal microphone, so I can't.
That's where I fucked up. I bought the can mic.
Yeah. So this is going to be complicated to explain because this has 2 fairly different layouts. So like I said, I had the second pressing, which is like, so as Martin told me and Philip both told me, Philip was a graphic designer, and Martin was in like art school or his printing stuff and stuff like that. So these guys were like wanting to go balls out on the first version of this, and so they did. I don't have the first version, but just looking at the pictures of it, it looks like this is a fairly expensive record to put out by, I assume, Philip again. So for the second press, they kind of consolidated everything into a more easily printable package, more cheap package. And there's even an apology in the record in the second press that's like, I'm sorry, but I don't think it's fucking expensive. That thing we did was fucking expensive. And even Martin, when I said, he asked, he's like, did he send you the original one or the second press? And I was like, second press. He's like, the layout isn't as good, blah blah blah. And I was like, no worries, Martin. This is much better, because I would never have gotten around to scanning that other one because it was 75,000 pages. This one's very consolidated. I like it a lot more. I could see why they don't like it more because it's it's not their vision, their first perfect vision. This is kind of thrown together. So the version I have is it's like a black on black cover, and it has like this kind of Philip's really into the rave style. He's really into the rave style graphic design. It seems like to this day he's really into that shit. So so even the kind of the Inkwell typography on the second press is very like ravey style, but it's black on black and it looks super slick. Like if you're just looking at the version on Discogs, it doesn't do it justice. That looks like shit. But the my scan and like the real life version, it looks super slick. It looks, I don't know when they did like I don't know if they actually did the repress in 95, because that's what it says on Discogs. If this was done in 95, super slick for 95. That black on black ink looks amazing. But then they kind of ruin it by just like pasting on like another piece of paper that says Inkwell by design. But it's fine. It's like green. It sticks out. It pops. I would have just preferred the complete black on black. Where they cheap out on this version is you get like the half cover where the back is just like a little flap to hold the all the nuts and bolts in. So that looks a little cheap, and it has the same deal where it's the black on black ink with a little sticker pasted on it with the address and stuff. So in the original version, they each had like their own like page where they could share their thoughts, like a full ass 7x7 page of bullshit, and it all has a picture of them, and the picture's in full color. Like it looks like they just went to like a photo, like they each went to a photo booth and just stuck their photo and pasted it right into the 7-inch. In the repress version, he made like little tiny, they're not as big as trading cards, they're slightly smaller than trading card versions of those pages. So there's 4 of them, and they all fit on one scanner tray at the same time. And I love that. I love just having to scan one thing at once. So I actually like that. I think that's a big upgrade. You still get the lyrics. I think, yeah, it looks like the original version had the lyrics spread out page by page. These are all kind of consolidated on one page. And I think everything else is kind of the same. You know, you get a live picture of them playing a show. I think that's in both versions. All in all, I mean, I think your mileage may vary on the repress version. I think the original version is pretty much in the Screamo pocket. You look at the original version, you go, this is Screamo. This is definitely a Screamo record. This new one, like I said, it's kind of ravey, but I like it. So your mileage may vary a little on the newer version, but I really enjoy the newer version. It looks like I said, if they really did this in 95, they're like, they're at least 5 years ahead of their time as far as like hardcore goes. Like doing this type of like graphic design in hardcore, they're at least 5 years ahead of their time. So I am probably in the very small minority that enjoys the second press over the first press as far as the package goes. But what did you think, Scott?
Discogs, if you scroll down, it says second pressing released in late 96 or possibly 97.
Even that's like it's pretty on the cutting edge for as far as hardcore design goes, I think.
I would agree. So this is a tricky one to critique because like they're obviously designers. Yeah. And there's things about it that I don't really love, but you can also tell that this is a person who had access to tools and that for the mid 90s, they were like paying attention to the state of the art and we're in it. And I haven't said the word in a while, but let's do it. I say Ray Gun Magazine again. It's been a few episodes, and rave flyers and techno and stuff had made us all go ape shit for getting very avant-garde with grunge fonts and making like even like the body text, just jeopardizing the margins and jeopardizing your audience's ability to just read the article. Like you ever read those magazines? Like they just didn't care if you knew what Bjork was saying in that article. They didn't give a fuck if you could read it. And this is kind of like just like sidestepping into that territory. The cover imagery, it's kind of cool. Like that background of typography definitely makes you feel like you're in a store that sells Ringer tees and like the sweater with the one horizontal stripe across the chest. But the blurry green photo is like totally different because it's got the doubled up logo. That's kind of cool. And this looks like a really good trip hop album cover. This looks like some kind of, Massive Attack B-side or like Uncle or something like that. And I would have bought that. I would have bought you just made the whole cover that green square. I would have bought that expecting to hear some good trip hop. The conceit gets a little strain on the back flap. It's the same thing, but they've like they don't quite deliver the goods typographically with the typewriter font. Like just giving me the address, it doesn't look quite as intriguing. The back of the lyric insert is what I assume that is, has the kind of like a photo negative being blown up.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call all the shit at top and bottom, all that little informational stuff. I'm not sure what that is. I phoned it in very hard in photography class. I don't know any of the terminology in relationship to, I've been a graphic designer for 100 years and I don't know what photographers get up to. This is the most grungy Inkwell logo. It's pretty skilled for this era. The way they broke it up is very like handmade. Even though the scratchy lines are all vector, it looks kind of like handled, like they did it sort of purposely. The lyrics themselves is where we get into some real gray territory. I get what they're doing, but my eyeballs get all fucked up when you do stuff like this. Phil or Martin, whoever, has overlaid the credits with the lyrics, so they interleave. And that's pretty daring. That's pretty bad to your audience. Then you get that little slip of paper for each member, like collectible cards. I know Mike likes those collectible card games, so he probably ate this shit up. He was like, "Oh yeah, my Yu-Gi-Oh game's gonna look real good this week." Most of the band sounds pretty miserable on their inserts. their write-ups are pretty unhappy about things, and the blurbs. They were in the original they're verbatim from the original layout, which I think is well before they broke up. So you wouldn't know it. This sounds like a post-breakup layout from this. I will say, when you get to Phil's, he wrote like a little shaped poem. I'm not going to get all like weepy on you guys or nothing, but I briefly remembered being a dumbass teen again. I was like, that's it. I remember thinking that things were this important and that art was cool. Like I felt it in my heart again, just for a few seconds reading that little block. I was like, yeah, man, like I'm fucking, yeah. And at 17, I would have thought it was cool that Phil made, if you read it, he makes like a smooth topical transition from his emo poetry to the thanks list in the same fucked up body of text. He just gradually is giving you the thanks list, emerging from his poetry, which is incredible. I think the original layout is unspeakable. That's the one they like. It's just that's nothing but busted typewriter fonts, just like all laid over the top of each other, all different directions, up and down, and random vector scribbles all over. And the collectible cards, the conceit is gone. You do get more photography, including the color shots, and you get some kind of tribal tattoo art on Marcus's flap because he didn't say enough depressing stuff to fill the page. So they give you a little like tribal sun. That's pretty cool. Both versions have identical labels, which are just like an insanely giant typewriter font, unhandled typewriter font. I think the new layout is cooler. I'm with Mike. We do lose the Art Deco peacock. I really like that Art Deco peacock that's in the other one. That's a shame, but otherwise I think I like the newer one better.
So there you go, guys. You have nothing to be ashamed of about this repress.
You made an improvement.
Yeah, it's actually better. So yeah, we're speeding through this, so now we can get to the music. This is 4 songs, so it's pretty full sound. It goes by pretty quickly though. So we got 2 songs on each side. First song on side A is called Instrument. it's a clever name because this is an instrumental. It's an instrumental. Very bold move starting your first ever 7-inch with an instrumental. It is not a move I would make. And I guess, again, different times, people probably aren't buying too many of these mail order. So they probably saw you at a show and they probably know what to expect. So it's not a mystery, but if you did buy this as a mystery, I would be upset. I would start flipping out. I'd be like, did I buy like a fucking vocalist record? What the fuck? Luckily, the name instrument kind of, it does tip you off. I go, oh, it's probably just instrumental. You can close your eyes and pretend that this is an intro, but it's a little too long to just do that. It's a bit too long. It's a nice track, though. It does kind of get you in the mood to listen to some sensitive but very angry boys coming up. But I'm very anti-instrumental, so...
It's nice as an intro. Like the fact that it's the intro is okay. This is some real emo hours right here. That that bass line is pure uncut stuff. That's straight from the source. I really like when it opens up and you get there's like some big classic rock chords on the guitar. It's real scenic. I think that's the last mood you're going to get other than tension and anxiety for the rest of the record. This is the only time when you're going to have a little bit of peace.
So the next track is called Hands Like Mine. This starts off with a Professional sample, the movie The Professional, I should say.
Real pro samples.
Yeah, it's a pro sample. they took a 64 track and they just put it in each track. This sample is crazy. No, it's for the movie The Professional. So unfortunately, I do have to cancel Inkwell. You are canceled. You can't like The Professional anymore. You need to make a new press with a less canceled sample on it.
Yeah.
But, for the time, very popular to sample the professional, so it makes sense. And then you're immediately hit with the sputtery, skittery drum beat of vintage screamo. So you know exactly what you're getting into. One of the first things you will notice, or at least I will notice about this band, is they are very bass forward.
Yeah.
The bass is all over. He's just playing the bass, jamming on the bass all over the place. We do, so it starts out, it's pretty screamo. It's very obviously screamo. Yep. We do get a nice little chill out part before they eventually end up into the fall down on the floor part. And you can just picture these tiny bodies writhing around on some dirty stage that smells like piss and beer, and makes all sense. It has pretty great dual vocals. You get the Philip, who is the normal screamo guy, and then you get Martin, who's the Salacious Crumb guy on this. Yep. And it's a combo that you don't really, you rarely get it anymore, but it's still a combo you don't really get too often. Usually, as far as the modern screamo goes, they are just completely replicating everything that happened in the 90s, so they don't know you could have a Salacious Crumb guy. So usually when there's dual vocals and the new stuff, it's just two screamo guys. So but yeah, I like this track. Maybe settle down on the bass. It's 1995. No one wants to hear bass. That's but outside of that, pretty great vintage screamo track. This is like the exact sound I think of when I hear the word screamo.
Yeah. There's sonically, there's a sound here that I don't think any studio will ever make again. And I don't know how to itemize it exactly, but there's something like the drums. It sounds like the drums were mixed together perfectly, but then squished. And then there's very separate and crystal clear bass and guitar on top. And I don't know if there's any way for someone with Logic on a MacBook to get the sound that these guys got. It's it warms my heart. It sounds like something I remember. So when the just gets down to the bass, it sounds like you're in some kind of a basement or something like that. This is top notch of this genre. There's a lot of actual songwriting and riff mastery. There's some riffing going on, and Inkwell does a lot of bass and guitar interchange that the cheaper bands can't get the hang of. Only the very deluxe bands get the hang of that. There's a screamo method that's also been lost in time, where you lose your will to scream on every line, and I don't know if that's just in the studio or if you would do that stuff live, but that was a pretty common record sound for just 2 years, and that didn't exist in the world anywhere after that. But this is fine. This is the kind of dark and dusty but busy basement shit that I was definitely after for 3 very important years of my life. I want to hear nothing but stuff like this.
Okay, so we flip it over to side B, and the first track on side B is the titular By Design. So this starts off with you guessed it. It starts off with a clutch riff. Everybody loves clutch though, so it's okay. But unfortunately, we never get to truly get into the clutch groove, as it's cut short by Screamo.
Yeah,
and it's like, what are we doing here? I want to hear clutch now. I want to be grooving. And now you're screaming about your feelings. I don't fucking care about your feelings. I care about Black & Decker Samurai and stuff like that. That's what I want to hear about. But no, actually, all serious, this song is a little more on the new school hardcore tip. It's a little less, I think, blatant Screamo. You could definitely play with Snapcase if he played all songs like this, but but it's still Screamo enough, I guess. They do hit the nice quiet part that you do expect from Screamo, so it's coming next after that quiet part, but actually it's not. It doesn't go all out crazy as you expect. It's kind of a chill crazy part. It's like, it's crazy, but you're still chill. You could definitely chill to this, but still still have a panic in your heart while listening to it. It's not a mode that I hear a lot in this Screamo. Not that I'm a scholar or anything, but it's cool. It kind of just keeps going until it stops. There's no like more hills and valleys after that. It's just you're chilling to this panicky part, and so that's pretty cool.
There's a meme on the Inkwell Instagram where it shows, it's almost like the Drake meme or something like that, where it has like vampires fearing sunlight, Superman fearing kryptonite, and Inkwell fearing a tuning pedal. And I think you could hear that on this track a little bit. Yeah, you can. This is getting into angine de poitrine levels of microtonality. They could have the spotted suits. This is very bold to start your DIY hardcore song out with this riff. I was thinking, to me, it was White Zombie. It had the
close enough.
And it's weird that I hadn't thought about clutch at all, but I was sitting in my car in the parking lot earlier today. I was parking to go in my store, and I was going, "Come on, motherfucker! Come on, motherfucker! Come on, motherfucker! Let's roll out!" And I was like, "Why is that in my brain? Why is it?" Here we are. I think this song is a little bit punished by the production style I mentioned earlier, because there's parts that I think are supposed to hit hard. There's like some sort of brutality to this song, but those parts sound a little thin. And then they get to like this Hawkwind trippy part that is way too big, because Martin decides to play the super wavy bass chords. And it's like, so it's the sort of the more trippy part all of a sudden goes, wah, and dubstep basses out and gets really big and wide. I like it. I like that trippy part. I think even with the, like the intonation issues, I like how this sounds, but there's just something about the production of the more hardcore parts that like loses a little oomph. And then later on, they go to this more like fully laid back clean channel part. And when I say clean, I mean clean. It sounds like they just held the mic up to an unamplified guitar. They may have just done that. They may have just gone raw. Just turn on the room mic and let that guy strum his unplugged Strat. And then they ride out on another big, huge, warm like bass chord part. It's pretty cool. Lots of gang vocals in this song too. Lots of finger pointing, lots of pylons, I assume, some real finger pointing shit. It's cool. All the harmonies at the end are kind of like little melancholy, so you get a little bummed out, even though that's the kind of part where you're supposed to be moshing. So you're feeling bad, but it's just like each of the artist bios that we get on the trading cards here. You're feeling bad, but you're moshing. Yeah, and that's all you can do.
The final track is called Right Side. So this starts off with a quiet speaking part. So this is the parts that Scott loves. He loves it.
Yeah.
You need this though. I was actually pretty shocked that it took until the last track to get this part onto this record, because I expected the record to open with this, and no, they waited till the last one. So this is where I noticed that my record, my copy of this record, might be a little warped on my record, because it starts sounding kind of weird.
Yeah.
And initially I thought it was on that last track By Design, but that's just out of tuneness. So it was on purpose it was by design on the track By Design. But I do think my because off air yesterday, Scott said you listen to this on YouTube and it doesn't sound like this, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So then after Scott told me that, while I was listening to this before we started to record, I started to panic as if my record player was maybe broken, because this is the last record I listened to, and so I had to like stop everything I was doing and put on a normal record, and I was like, whew, phew, my record player's not broken, because that's this record being a little warped, that's fine. My record player being broken, then I have to spend money, and that's gonna suck. So it's a little warped, but I don't know. I don't see any warping, so I don't know. Maybe it's a little melted. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Maybe it's purpose. I don't know. Maybe it's the second pressing bonus is a little waviness. I don't know.
Yeah, YouTube. If YouTube is from the first pressing, shout out to them for using the first pressing.
So there's a speaking part, and so you expect like a real aggro screamo part, but it gets just kind of a little rocking with screamy vocals. These guys are rocking out a little, and then it goes back to some quiet nonsense. And all in all, I think you could rip a very tiny bong to this. So it's a little 420 friendly, I think. And then we finally get to the heavy part. It's not super heavy, but it's enough to groove to. Possibly also inspired by Clutch, but I'm not sure. But it's the big release we've all been waiting for after dealing with quiet talking parts. I think they could have went a little more Goblin mode on this part, but it's still pretty good. It's a pretty good way to end the record.
This is another one where the production undercuts the slams a little bit. I think
for sure.
The beginning has all those big parts that you figure should be like really righteous, but something isn't quite. It's not quite slamming enough in the mix. But they get to the super long part in the middle. And that's where I thought, like, I was thinking, well, maybe one of Mike's cats sat on the record for this part, because that's when it gets real wavy. And I was listening to it like, wow, like, how did he do this? Did he do this on purpose? Did he just like put his hand on the whammy and go nuts? But yeah, so I listened to the rip on YouTube. It's not like that. It's just us. But also, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put that version in here. You guys can vote. It's live, so you can't take it back, but should I have put the warped one in or not? How did you feel listening to the warped version? I like that they dedicated like 4 of their 7 minutes on this side to just noodling. There's like a lot of noodling in this song. And then when they stop noodling, they play like the Clutch with doom metal song, like whatever you want. Like they play some stoner, some 420 righteous 420 riffs, and even like complete with the guitarist just playing that one string, going bow, bow. He's just hitting the one big string. And part of me was impressed at the idea that Joe might have been playing this whole last song by holding the whammy bar, so that everything could get like hopelessly fucked up. That's a situation you can only find in this warped version of the record. So we're giving you an alternate universe where Joseph was even more of an artist than you thought of. Screwed and warped, the screwed and warped version of this. But I think it sounds cool this way. I think it sounds cool both ways. I like having a doom metal outro to your screamo record.
It's like the Faith Void split debate. Which side is better? Do you like the first press screamo design, clean, non-warped version of Inkwell, or do you like the ravey, consolidated, warped version of Inkwell second press? And I think me and Scott are both in we like the second press warped version better.
Yeah.
But either way, at the end of these, I like to do a little rating system where I say either throw it in the trash, listen to it on streaming, buy it in the bargain bin, buy it for full price, or buy it for collector's prices. I'm pretty sure they have a Bandcamp listing or Discogs, but it goes to nothing. So I don't know if they have another Bandcamp outside of that, or if they're just like, fuck this is stupid. Let's take this shit off of Bandcamp right now. I don't know what happened there. So you possibly can't listen to this on Bandcamp, but you can listen to it on YouTube, as Scott just said. So what I really like about this record as a whole is that okay, no one's even selling this repress on Discogs, so you can't even get this shit. It looks like the last one that sold for about $10 though, so it's about $10 record. But the other one I think is like 20 or 30, so it's a little more pricey. But what I do like about this record is that either press, you get a full meal with this 7-inch. You get 4 tracks, and they all are like, you get, as much as I don't like it, you get like an instrumental intro, and all the tracks flow, and you get like the big ending. And I always talk about that. And you get a lot to read, a lot to look at, a lot to sift through. And this was my dream when I was in the 90s when I was buying records. Yeah. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to have a full meal, and it's very disappointing how many records we go through on the show that are 3 songs, 1 insert, and it's just like, it's crap. And this was just completely full. So I'm not going to go collector's prices on it, but I am going to go full price on this. I think this is just a full meal in 7-inch form. And now you're lucky if you get fucking 3 songs on a 7-inch for $11. Now you get like one-sided 7 inches for $11. So this is how it should have been, and it sucks that it's no longer like this.
Yeah. So I was loosely familiar with Inkwell. I think I have the Hollow Shaddad split somewhere, and partially I knew them as a band that used the Papyrus font. Not on this record, but I know, you know what you've done, guys. You've used the Papyrus font. Sometimes when they use that font, it means they're going to get a little spiritual. And I was half expecting some chanting on this record, especially when we did the research and I saw that, one of them has gone a spiritual way. I'm happy to report no chanting. This is a tidy package of contrasts. There's a war on this record between the moody parts and the chunka parts. And there's clearly an interest in like metal and metallic hardcore bubbling just under the surface. But, Inkwell knows that the butter on the Screamo bread comes from the mood and the chaos. So they won't let their inner nuclear assault take over. They want to. And what's interesting is that modern day Martin seems to be mostly posting about true cult black metal. Yeah. And yet here he is on this record. He's the ethereal guy. Joe's guitar is trying his best to make this band into Machine Head and Clutch. And Martin's bass just isn't having it. His bass insists on being like Mogwai or a Swerve Driver or something. It gets what it wants. It takes over the mix and it says, nope, wow, we're going to space. This whole record, everything about this record is an artifact of a time that I still cherish. Every one of us gets the same 7 days to work with. And every week, 4 of my days are spent wishing that life had a little room in it for me to just be wearing really big jeans and rolling into like Ann Arbor to play a Screamo set. And that's the only thing I had to do that day. I think I'm going to go to a vegan place and eat. That's all else I got. I got shit else to do. That would be a dream come true. I know it probably wasn't when you lived it. Your van's breaking down. All the shoes stink. It's a bad scene, but I want to be back there. I think that would be great. So yeah, if you like that stuff, you like emo, you like Screamo, you just like 90s hardcore. This is a buy. This is 9 or 10. For that, it's very state of the art. It's a freeze frame of like a really, really specific era of this hardcore. Yeah. That it's being referenced today. Like Mike said, the vocals are being referenced today, but they're not being duplicated. They're not nailing what these guys were doing back then. On the Tin Fish scale, I think it's cool. I like the struggle between the choppy metal parts and the big woofed out bass parts. I like that the backing vocals are very salacious, screeching almost constantly. But they're mixed low, so they're really salaciously struggling to be heard. And it's one of the things that's missing today. It's a good variety. It's a very bizarre mix. I'm going to say this is like an 8.8 out of 10, pushing toward the 9, especially because you get so many little doodads to look at. Either version you get, you're looking at things. You open the package and just things are raining out. Yu-Gi-Oh cards are just raining out, and you can collect and trade and do whatever you got to do.
So there you have it. There's Inkwell's By Design from 1995 on My Last Wish Records. Great record, guys. You did it. You made it. And we're not just saying that because you give us money every month. It's from the heart. We really mean it. It is a great record. So next week, we're going to finally do the Sperm Crickets. Michael Lump sent me all those 7 inches now years ago. Feels like years ago. And I don't know if he expected us to do his band, but he sent the record. And we're going to do the Sperm Crickets. So everybody check for that, and I'm going to hit Michael up after this and say, hey, you got to give us all the info, because I don't think these guys have like a Discogs or anything. I mean, they have a Discogs, but I don't know if they have any info. So I'm going to cheat on this one and get some info from the source. But yeah, until next week, Scott, do you have any last words?
It's surprising how many times we've said this sperm crickets thing at this point. That several, I think last week sometime a friend of mine said, I was catching up on your show and there was something, I don't know what episode I was listening to, but there was something about like semen grasshoppers. And I was like, I feel like there's information there that's working for me, but I don't know what it was. I had to go back and look at my own notes and figure out what she was talking about. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to get that off my docket. Yeah, I gotta get that off my plate. I gotta put that in my rearview mirror.
We've built it up for months now. People are waiting to hear the sperm cricket 7-inch. So you're welcome, Michael. You're gonna get the rest of those out of your house probably, because we're gonna make it a hot ticket. We're gonna make the sperm crickets a thing.
Yep. Apart from that, I need people to urgently tell me how I'm supposed to get the new records. A couple of friends have been bringing me a couple nice things here and there, but the whole idea of going to like estate sales, no, that's not working. Because like by the time I get there, the guy from Last Vestiges has already bought everything. So I either have to like fight him, go where he lives and fight him, and he's just a scrappy guy. I'm not going to take him. Or you guys tell me a different thing to do. You guys who know things, just call me on my hotline and tell me directly like what I can do to cheat code my way out of this, because I've really dug myself a hole and my family's going to starve if you don't tell me how to get records in a hurry.
Put a GoFundMe up. Say, hey,
I don't need money, guys. My GoFundMe is, can you send me all your copies of Dark Side of the Moon?
You got to use your hardcore connections. All these people are fucking, every single person we've reviewed on this show is sitting on 100 copies of the 7-inch that we talked about, because they never sold, and obviously they're not going to sell in your store, but it'll look like you have a lot of stuff at least. So there's that. So
to this day, not one young person has come in and said you have the Colored Rice Man 7-inch.
But if they saw it, they'd be like, "Oh, I've been searching for that. I've been searching for that forever." So you gotta hit up all the punkers. You gotta talk to like. I don't even know. I don't even know. Joe had a record label. Joe Cam's forum patron. He's probably sitting on 35,000 records that never sold. So yeah. It would be,
I dream of, if I can get anywhere with this, I want to take a week where the whole store is just one record. Like one of my one of my friends' most failed records. Every bin is just 3,000 copies of whatever that is.
There you go. Hit up Joe. Yeah. Hit up Joe. John Torn has a record label. Sure, he's sitting on a lot of shit. All these people.
It's like last year and the year before were the years that all those sort of friends were like, "Hey, do you guys want any of the records I'm about to throw in the incinerator?" Yeah. And I had no idea I needed them so badly back then.
Yeah, that's how it goes. So, anyways, enough record blabbing. We will be back next week. Until then, fuck Charlie Daniels.
Fuck Charlie Daniels.